Good morning, colleagues. My name is Vanessa Noonan and I'm here at Sheldon College. And today we're going to share with you how we have implemented drone and robotic technology across our curriculum from prep through to Year 12. I'm also joined here today by our Director of ICT, Murray James, and our Specialist Technologies teacher, Candice Parkin, who will also join me in the presentation later on. As you can see through our video, we are a co-educational non-denominational college located in Brisbane's Bayside, and we are committed to the philosophy of love, laughter and learning. Today we'll share with you our learning and innovation framework for a new Queensland, and this framework really unpacks how our teachers have converged the use of technology, pedagogy and space into their curriculum areas. On the screen, you'll see our 6 student exit outcomes, and our LINQ framework, all of the curriculum opportunities you'll see today, is really underpinned by these college's 6 student exit outcomes. Everything we do really is and helps us align back to these 6 areas. And today we'll be demonstrating only a small selection of the truly amazing work our teachers here at Sheldon College have been implementing in their classroom as part of their commitment to opening up their classrooms to the world of drones and robotics. I'm going to start with our first project, our Year 2 project. And as you can see on the screen, this first project really introduces our Year 2 students to the concepts of drone technology and how our young students have been working with literacy, numeracy, and their mathematical curriculum to really look at how they can apply their knowledge of Earth's resources and the features of communities, peoples, and place. Now, this project uses a variety of resources such as the Tinker app, the Foldify app, cardboard construction, texters, markers, basically everything in their classroom, all in one project. And this project was linked to the book, The Lorax. So what happened in this particular project? The students used the Foldify app to digitally design their own inclusions of a town. And then they created this town. It was quite a large town, probably about 1.5 meters by 1.5 meters. And the students used this town to collaboratively determine the location and position of the town requirements to meet the needs of Lorax. Now, for them to get a bird's eye view of their final town, they programmed a drone using the Tinker app, flew the drone into the town to capture footage. This really enhanced their numeracy and computational thinking skills and gave the students the opportunity to annotate their town inclusions. Our next project, as you can see on the screen, is our Year 5 Exploring Remote Locations project. And this project was led by our technology faculty. This project is set in the year 2030, where 6 unnamed spacecrafts have left Earth for Mars. So of course, we can't take our students to Mars without some clever technology, and this is where we have used drone technology, the Tinker app, robotics, and Ozobots to create a 10-week project. I'm going to hand over to my colleague Candice now, who will show you how we've implemented this in the Year 5 curriculum. And as you can see on the next screen, she's going to talk to these 3 images.
So as you can see in the very first image, it's a map that we created to show the locations of the 6 different unmanned spacecraft that landed on Mars. Now, these little modules, we give the students a little bit of an information about what each one is and why it might be important. The students then rank them in order, as you can see from that bottom table, into which module they need to go to first and their reasons behind it. As a group, they must decide these locations and figure out which one's the most important. Then what they get to do is we actually have partitions set up around the map so they can't see these locations of the modules. They then need to program the drone to fly up and over the partitions to get a bird's eye view of what the map looks like. Then using this knowledge, they've got to program Ozobots to go to each of the modules in the order that they specified. So it's a really great unit that shows them all the skills that they need to have. They use their computational thinking and they use problem solving and collaboration to end up being able to set up this little colony on Mars to see how they go. Now we run this as a 10-week program with 2 70-minute lessons.
So our next project that we'd like to share is our Year 6 project, and a similar concept was applied here to the Year 5 project. This was led by our Year 6 team, and students were investigating a unit of work linked to natural disasters. So as you can see on the screen, we've used very similar resources, but in this instance, we created simulated disaster zones. So we created a flood, a fire, and an earthquake. But what we were able to do was we encapsulated these disaster zones so the students couldn't actually physically see them. And as you can see on the next slide through these 3 images, what students had to do was they had to send in a drone to the disaster zone because it was too unsafe to send in humans. They took a photo of the natural disaster zone, and based on their photo, they were then charged with deploying a robotic device to the disaster zone. And this was done through using Ozobots, and based on their planning, they created an emergency response plan. The Ozobot was deployed to the disaster zone, which is the middle image, and using a variety of code, they enacted that emergency response plan. Again, there was a lot of literacy, numeracy, and cross-curricular opportunities in this unit. There was justification along with the reasons behind their deployment of their emergency response plan. And this unit and all of the units you've just seen really demonstrate how we have implemented authentic experiences into our classroom and trying to keep the learning real and relevant for our students so that they can see how such technologies can be used in real scenarios in the real world. So moving on to our next slide, we're now looking at how drone technology is used and robotic technology is used in our senior curriculum. So I'm going to segue now into years 9 and 10. I'll start off by sharing with you our Year 9 project that is led by our design specialist teacher, Carl, and he has worked with a group of students on the UAV challenge. So as part of this program, there was a cross-pollination of students. So years 9 through to year 12 students were charged with manufacturing their own drone with the purpose of deploying medical equipment. So as you can see on the video on the next slide, students worked alongside our professional design specialist and also some parents weekly for about nearly 8 months. And during that time, as you can see in the video, they manufactured the drone that you can see flying on the screen. Now, the purpose of this drone was to deploy an EpiPen. And throughout the video, you'll see the EpiPen being deployed to a remote location. Students use Python coding, an array of GPS technology. They used obviously a lot of manufacturing, electronics, and remote control systems to construct this drone. But what's interesting in the video is that the drone that is actually capturing this footage that you'll see on the video is actually being managed by one of our students who has their drone license. And that segues me into our next slide, whereby we'd like to launch our story in regards to Certificate 3 in Aviation and how our students in years 9 to 12 use their certificate in aviation across different subject areas. So I'm now going to hand over to Mr. Murray James, who will lead us into understanding how our Certificate 3 is being utilised in our curriculum areas.
Thanks, Vanessa. I guess, as you can see, the great building blocks that our early learning, middle college teams do with the use of drones in their technology subjects and other subjects, I guess allows us to have a really strong base for student understanding and knowledge, so we can then leverage that in our senior college. Like Vanessa and Candice, I'm a teacher, so I teach senior film and TV in year 11 and year 12. And again, a very passionate educator of making real world experiences into the classroom as real as possible, so students have a broad range of skill sets. And the drone technology allows us to push these students into careers that I guess are developing and continue developing and giving them new opportunities to apply that skill set in a real world setting. The Certificate 3 in Aviation program with the remote pilot's license is a great opportunity for our students to gain qualifications that are nationally recognised, again, for whichever career path they want to enter into. But at the same time, we can leverage that back inside the college with our students in a range of curriculum areas in senior college. And one particular area that I really enjoy doing is having our students, once they gain that certification, to work alongside myself and the marketing team to be able to, I guess, use that drone technology in recording videos for the college, whether it's a promotional video or events that we have at the college. If you look at, I guess, the next slide, you'll see the, I guess, what the students gain within that Certificate 3 in Aviation, which is done through an RTO company that comes into the college on our holiday programs and works alongside those students, year 10, 11 and 12, and making sure that, I guess, they understand all the rules and regulations, particularly that they get their certification with the right credentials and do those, I guess, certificate exams so they can pass that and get that certification. It's a great way for those students, again, to build on the skill set that's done throughout the entire college with our drone program. As I sort of said, in senior film and TV, I guess what we do with those students that have been certified, then they're able to use the drone technology in their senior film and TV subject. And I guess as one of as it says on the slide there, the syllabus outcomes, the unit objectives that we particularly do is within going out to clients and filming promotional videos, whether it's for the college or whether it's for a private client out in the field. You can see there on the screen, the students, they do have to wear those safety vests, one being an observer and one being the pilot. And again, it just gives them, I guess, the certification to know that they are doing the right thing by having that certification. In terms of examples of what students have done with this certification, once they enter out into the community and as part of their film and TV program, and you can see on the next slide there an example where students have produced promotional videos for River Life as part of their senior film and TV program, where they've gone out on location, they've, I guess, used that drone technology and again, put it back into a really nice packaged video that looks quite professional. And particularly with the drones that they do use, again, with stabilization and the video quality, it turns out quite professional products that the clients really enjoy and the students themselves enjoy making and able to do as part of their assessment within film and TV. Another example on the next slide you will see, as well as the Design the Drone workshop. And again, I'll pass back to Vanessa to talk about those programs.
Thank you, Murray. And thank you, Candice. As you can see, we have implemented technology, drones and robotics across our curriculum in authentic situations, and we really try hard to make sure that our experiences in our classrooms link to real world problems. We have opened up our classrooms to external students as well as part of our holiday workshop program. This means that we have students on site using our learning spaces and using our resources, both Sheldon College students and the wider community. And we were proud to celebrate our latest workshop, which we partnered with World of Drones, whereby students worked for 2 days on designing drone technology solutions for problems which would be inconceivable to solve without such technology. We were very fortunate to work with Dr. Catherine Ball to implement this program. It's a highly engaging program. And what I'd like to share with those educators today, for those who'd like to adopt this program in their school, is that you actually don't need any drone or technologies or any hardware. This is about the thinking in and around how can technology solve real world problems. And I highly recommend this program to those educators that are listening today. And just to finish off, as you can see on the second last slide, we have launched the Sheldon LINQ Academy, which means that we offer now professional development and professional learning to those schools who would like to really look at how can they reshape their curriculum with the implementation of technology. How can they shift their teachers to redesign their learning so that it is engaging, relevant and real? So we ask those educators to jump onto our website to learn about our professional learning services. And finally, on our final slide, you can connect with myself, Candice, Murray, and all of our educators here at Sheldon College by jumping onto the Sheldon College website or connecting with us at elearning@sheldoncollege.com. We will be more than happy to answer any questions that have stemmed from our presentation today. And thank you to World of Drones for having us and allowing us to share our practice with the wider community.